The New York Jets set to travel across the pond this Sunday in their Week 6 clash against the 3-2 Denver Broncos in London. I will dive into the injury report, give my 3 keys to victory, and also my official score and prediction. But before we get into that, welcome back, everybody, to the Turn Up the Jets YouTube channel. As always, your host, Joe Skirtle. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Liked the video. If you've actually liked it, you could also follow me on social media platforms such as X and on Instagram at Turn Up the Jets, all one word. I really appreciate all of the support. The Jets come into Week 6 in desperate need of a win, the only winless team in the NFL, and rookie head coach Aaron Glenn needs a win here to at least give the fan base some hope, because it's been getting worse and worse and worse each and every week. Usually, you get better. I mean, nobody expected this team to win 10 or 11 games, but also nobody expected this team to go 0-5 in such a terrible fashion, have one of the worst defenses in the league, continue not to be able and to be incompetent of returning a kick without fumbling it, and an offense that simply can't score unless it's in garbage time in the fourth quarter. The Jets have to show some signs of life, but unfortunate for them, they go against a very talented opponent, 7.5-point dogs against the Denver Broncos, led by second-year quarterback Bo Nix, and of course, a coaching legend in Sean Payton, a really good offensive line, a really good defense, have a star receiver in Cortland Sutton, a two-headed monster in the backfield with J.K. Dobbins and rookie R.J. Harvey. This is not going to be an easy matchup for the Jets on both sides of the football. It's going to really be challenging, to say the least. And I don't think many people are giving them much of a chance of winning in this game. But I'll try to give us some keys to victory and some optimism. My optimism's at an all-time low, as I think a lot of people's are. It's just hard to really come into this game excited and, expect a good product, because simply they have not been able to do that. But let's start off by looking at the injury report for both teams going into Sunday. They officially released it after the final day of practice going into the game. First, we got the Jets. Michael Carter. He has not practiced all week with the concussion. He is out. Allen Lazard is out for the second consecutive game as well with a non-football related injury. Hopefully everything's okay with Allen Lazard, but this is the second consecutive week that he has missed. With this, Brandon Stevens has been battling a neck. This is the first time on Friday that he has been popped up on the injury report. He was limited, so he will be questionable going into Sunday's game. Jamarcus Winston also questionable, but he was a full participant with the groin injury. Justin Fields had a knee, but he fully practiced all week. Expect him to start with no issues. Jermaine Johnson will be a full go on Sunday. That's great news. Obviously made the video yesterday as he finally practiced for the first time since week 2, getting injured with that ankle against the Bills. He was a full-time participant today. So expect to see Jermaine Johnson on the field, which is a huge get. And Kene Ngannou, his first appearance since week 1 with the hamstring injury. He didn't practice on Wednesday, but did slowly progressed, was limited on Thursday, full participant here today. So he will play. And then Quinnen Williams with the groin injury, I think they were just being cautious. He was limited, but he was a full participant. So expect 100% Quinnen Williams here, who desperately needs to get to the quarterback this week. The Denver Broncos looks like this. Jonah Ellis, the outside linebacker, had a rib and shoulder injury. He is ruled out. He did not practice all week, as well as the guard Ben Powers. He's out with a bicep injury. Malcolm Roach, defensive tackle, was battling a calf. He's been full participant the last 2 days, so he is questionable, but most likely will play. Tyler Beatty, running back, shoulder limited. He will play. Nick Bonito, the talented outside linebacker with a wrist. He's been a full participant all week, just had that wrist injury. So not great news there for the Jets. He is definitely a game wrecker. DJ Jones, defensive tackle, shoulder. He'll play with, battling a shoulder all week. And then Alex Singleton, inside linebacker, battling a thumb, but he was full participant all week. So he also will play. So nothing crazy on this injury report other than the Jets get Jermaine Johnson back. Massive. I don't think it's going to fix all their problems, but this team desperately needs to get after the quarterback, and that's going to be opening up for my first key to victory here against the Broncos. They need to get after the quarterback. They were unable to do that last week and unable to do that the week before against Tua. I mean, Dak only got sacked last week because he fell down, and it was in the fourth quarter. So they did a poor job, and the Cowboys were missing 2 out of their 5 starters on the offensive line, and they still couldn't get to him. So I think Jermaine Johnson will obviously have a presence there along with Will McDonald. So these guys need to figure it out. They need to get at least 2 or 3 sacks. You got to make Bo Nix feel uncomfortable. He's already shown you that he has been vulnerable this year with turning over the football, especially in the early part of the year, the first couple weeks. He did protect the ball pretty solid for the most part last week in their win against the Eagles. But, like, you got to make this dude uncomfortable because the offense is going to give you some crazy looks that you've never seen before. That's just what happens when you face a Sean Payton offense. There's a lot of moving parts. It's hard to prepare against, and the Jets defense are going to have their hands absolutely full. I mean, this is a defense that has not been able to stop a nosebleed, can't get off the field on third downs, cannot turn the football over, cannot tackle. They really cannot do anything in a positive manner so far in 2025. And you're going up against a very challenging offense that, like I said, there's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be hard to scheme up against, and they're just going to have to avoid of giving up big plays. I mean, they've given up, I believe, the most 20-plus yard plays in the NFL. That's not good. Explosive plays, not good. And the Jets have been victim of that all season long. There has to be a change, and it all starts off with the defensive line, with Phillips, with Quinnen, and with the 2 defensive ends in Will McDonald, and now getting Jermaine Johnson back. So that's key number 1. Key number 2 is going to sticking with the defense. It's going to have to be every single week until they finally do it, and that's to create a turnover. I mean, can we get a damn turnover? Nick says 4 picks this year. Like I said, he did fall victim the first couple of weeks of turning over the ball. And I know a lot of people were worried in Denver, but despite the fact, I mean, he has bounced back in a big way. This is a team that's only lost twice, and both have been game-winning field goals with time expired. So, like, they've been in every football game. You have to change the narrative here and finally get an interception or jump on a fumble. Like, they've been able to get fumbles. They just don't know how to cover it. So this has to be the game. You cannot go 6 consecutive games to open up a season and not have a turnover. Like, come on, man. I mean, should be number 1 priority all week, doing, drills of just throw the ball on the ground and see if they could actually are capable of diving onto it and holding on to the football. Someone needs to make a play. I don't care who it is. It could be a defensive lineman, like I said, jumping on a football, or maybe Sauce Gardner, or maybe Brownlee, or maybe Stevens. I don't know. I don't care. Get a turnover, because you're going to have 0 chance of winning this game if you don't, because it puts all the pressure. Once again, I repeat myself every week. It puts all the pressure on the offense to come out fast, which they haven't been able to do. They don't even have an opening drive touchdown. I believe they're the only team in the league that does not have an opening drive touchdown throughout the first 5 weeks. So, like, give them short distance here. Give them good field position. They've not been able to do that. The defense needs to figure it out, man. Like, I don't know what else to say at this point. So obviously it's Steve Wilks. He is calling the play still. I knew there were rumblings, and Glenn was asked if there was going to be a change in play calling, or would Glenn have a larger role. He would not answer. And of course, they did not announce anything. So Wilks is going to be calling the plays. We're not there in practice. So was Glenn more involved in the defense? I have no idea. And I think he should maybe at least have a say in the play calling here this week. He didn't have to call the plays, but, like, he should be able to sign off on every play they call, because they have just been so bad. So bad. And last week they quit. So, like, nothing tells me it's going to change. I do think having a guy like Johnson is very helpful, just to have him there in the huddle. But, like, only one guy can only do so much. There's 10 other guys out there. They got to make plays. They got to show signs of life. They got to show energy. Like, I heard all offseason that this was going to be a defense who's going to be physical and nasty and take the ball away. And they haven't been any of those things. They haven't. They've been the worst defense in the NFL. This is a defense who I had expectations to be a top 5 to 7 defense in the league. And they have not. It doesn't matter who plays quarterback. 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, Tua without Tyreek Hill, Dak Prescott without CeeDee Lamb. I mean, like, they're just getting exposed no matter who it is. Yes, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But the other three, I mean, Dak's been great too, but without his best weapon. I mean, and without two of his starting offensive linemen. I mean, like, it's just crazy that this defense has had zero spark all year long. So a turnover, I think, would just take just the edge off. It would take the piano off the back if they're able to do it and just say, finally, we don't have to hear another week of, will the Jets have a turnover, or how the hell haven't they had a turnover? Just end it, please, for everybody's sake. And key number 3 for me, I know the Jets have been trying to establish the run every game, and they were effective doing it, obviously, week 1, and even the last 2 weeks early on. It just didn't end up with points. And then they were behind because the defense is so bad, and they had to get away from that. And then, like last week, you have Justin Fields throwing the ball 46 times, which is just absolutely insane and shouldn't happen. And you're never going to win if that's what's going to happen. Breece Hall looks really good, right? But I think establishing the run in the beginning is almost forceful at this point. You got to get the ball to Garrett Wilson. You have to, early on. Like, enough of him just getting the garbage stats. He had 2 targets last week. 2 targets for 1 catch in the first half last week. And the second one probably could have been a touchdown if Justin Fields didn't overthrow him. He's the best player and the most talented player on that offense. Give him the football early on when you're actually still in the game. He's no use to you when you're down 14 to 20 points and just then suddenly just peppering him with targets. That's not effective. Let him impact the football game when it's still 0-0, when you still have a chance of winning, when you're still in the game. That's what I want to see. I want to see 5, 6, maybe even 7 targets in the first half. I do. That means Justin Fields has to throw the ball more. So be it. I mean, wasn't the whole thing establishing the run? Then you could take that to play action, giving Fields also the option to run. Like, he is going to have his hands full. Of course, you go, Patrick Surtain is the best corner in football, but Garrett Wilson's one of the best wide receivers right now in football. You have to give it to your best player. I don't care how you use him. You could use him in screen passes. You could use him in the slot, the X. The Y, the Z, whatever. Use him just use him creatively to get him the football early on. He's no use of getting all these catches in the fourth quarters like he did in Miami and like he did in Dallas. It seems like every week he scores in the fourth quarter. 3 out of his 4 scores have been in the fourth quarter. And 3 in all those games, it was like the Jets were trying to claw back into the football game. That has to change. Like, get him the ball early on. You paid this dude $100+ million. He's having a great season, but like he needs to be in the game plan right off the bat. And it hasn't been that way outside of week 1. Week 1, anomaly at this point. I don't know if I'm saying that word correctly. You know what I mean, though. It doesn't exist anymore. That team does not exist. We've seen a team get worse and worse and worse since then. Like, it's like everything you say positive about the Jets, they haven't done since week 1, other than the defense, because the defense still stunk. But the offense, you have to just stop with the same old game plan here. It hasn't worked. They haven't been able to score points in the first half. They can't get an opening drive touchdown. It looks like the last 2 weeks, they drive right down the field and then they fold because they can't get in 3 yards away, or Braylon Allen fumbles. I mean, there has to be some change, and number 5 should be the main priority for the Jets because the Broncos defense is really good. It is. They got a solid defensive front, and I don't think you're going to be able to run as well as you have the last 2 weeks against this defensive front. Like, the Broncos were just able to really stop Saquon Barkley last week of breaking out and having a big game. I mean, the Eagles rely on the run, and they stalled them. They were down 14. They were able to come back because of that. So this is going to be a challenging front to run the ball effectively like you have. There's got to be some change here. There's got to be something that the Broncos defense doesn't expect, and it would be Justin Fields throwing the ball more and scheming up plays for your best player in Garrett Wilson. It's easy. But all right, that's my 3 keys to victory. My scoring prediction, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. It is. I'm taking the Broncos, and I'm taking them by a decent margin. I'm going to take them 27-17. It's just, I don't have any confidence in the Jets winning this game. My thing is, can we just keep it close at half? Seriously, can we? Like, none of these games have ever really been close. And even if the score doesn't show it. So play well in the first half, finally start fast, and at least give you a chance to win this game. I do not want to see come from behind Jets offense in the third quarter because it's not good. It never works. It's not. You're not going to win with Justin Fields throwing the ball 40-plus times. And yes, I just explained that I want him to throw early on. But then that way you could open up the run in the second, third, fourth quarter and not have to throw it away in the first quarter. Just stay in the game. Like, if they lost 27-17, I'm not going to be happy. I'm still going to be pissed off. But, like, at least just make this a game in the first half. Make it watchable. Like, I'm waking up. It's, you know, I'll be up anyway, but a 9:30 game, don't make my day already suck at 10 a.m. Please. For the love of God. Like, can we just not have that happen? We'll say the Broncos are a really good football team. I mean, it's plain and simple. Like, they looked like not the team we expected and had those expectations coming into the year, but that win last week, I think, is going to completely change everything, even though the Eagles just got smoked by the Giants with Jackson Dart. But that's despite the fact, like, the Eagles at home, you beat them. That's a huge win. And they have all the momentum coming in here. The Jets have 0. The Jets are dead right now. They're dead in the waters. They're the only winless team in the NFL. They're expected to have the number 1 overall pick right now through 5 weeks. And there's just been nothing good that has came out of this team with this new regime. It's been only bad, heartbreak, disgustingness. It's been all bad. We'll see. Prove me wrong. Wouldn't it be great? It would be awesome. Like, every Jets fan should want to win. Like, I don't want to tank. I want to win. Like, I want to somehow win and then be like, okay, you bring us back, right? Make me delusional next week. Make me delusional and be like, all right, well, now they got the Panthers and, you know, the Bengals with Joe Flacco, and then they have the Browns, and, you know, there's a couple winnable games coming up. Make us delusional again. At least that means the Jets won. 0-6. I mean, it's just like, it's getting to the point that it's unwatchable. Again, no expectations, but we'll see. Maybe Woody Johnson will spread some luck in his favorite place ever in London. But I appreciate everybody for watching the video again. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Like the video if you have actually liked it. You can also follow me on social media platforms such as X and on Instagram. Trying to get to 400 subscribers. I know Jets content isn't as exciting right now as it was a couple weeks ago when they were 0-0 or 0-0. I don't know why I said 0-0 when they were 0-0 or even 0-1. I mean, but anyone who's viewing this and watching this, I do really appreciate it. The recap most likely will come Monday for this game. And Godspeed. Until next time, see ya.